Dave Porter is our next candidate to come up, please.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Question one, quite obviously, the matter of local government is not able to be completely ignored, as this advisory committee is set up to progress the matter. I look forward to the opportunity to be chosen to help build a better future for Norfolk. We need to approach this task with an open mind and a willingness to achieve the best outcomes available. Question two, immigration control appears to be top of mind for many. While there is no evidence that any study was made of the effects before the change, there also appears to be no study of the effects since the change. At first glance, there doesn't appear to be the usual problems associated with rapid uncontrolled growth, such as rising crime, homelessness, or high unemployment. But I understand the fine balance between a population big enough to offer economies of scale and overtaxing a small, fragile environment that we're entering. Suffice to say, I will take a keen interest in this matter. Question three, the models of governance applied to Norfolk Island are by direction and oversight of the Parliament of Australia. And as such, we need to be confident that they have appropriate and transparent mechanisms in place to ensure that the local government model is not altered or removed without adequate reason and review. And this review needs to ensure that if the model needs to be improved over time, you must learn from your past. The ultimate goal must be a sustainable governance model. Question four, my experience in governance suggests the economy of Norfolk could not support the expectations of all of our people, and for many years we lived on our depreciation, and we consumed our infrastructure faster than we could afford to replace it. Any new form of governance will need to be sustainable, and as such will need to have access to all levels of federal and state financial assistance enjoyed by other local governments, especially ones that aren't even as remote or as isolated as we are, but enjoy that benefit. I don't believe we have any chance of going it alone. Question five, my experience over the last 30 years in elected governance, including on Norfolk, leaves me with the opinion that a small isolated community will always have difficulty with sustainability. As with the previous answer, a new model will be interesting to say the least. And question six, my answer would be no, and I doubt anyone would have a complete answer to this question. But I look forward to be chosen to help progress this extremely important and complex task. And question seven, my experience both here and away in both public and private life gives me the skill set required. I'm pragmatic, but at the same time a realist. So we look for the most advantageous solutions for our future. The lofty ideal of consensus may need to be tempered with compromise if we are to resolve the matter and move forward. Question 8, it's a very important question. But having said that the governance model, as I said earlier, will be by necessity be a compromise, and as such will not please all the people all the time. If we are to build an inclusive and sustainable governance model, it must be based on compromise, always looking for the best outcome for Norfolk. Question 9, being a small community, the opportunity to meet and mix with people is easy, and I have an open door attitude to office. Structured meetings would be okay when the need arises. Question 10, my years in public as well as business life has equipped me with the skills to strive for the best outcome available for the community. In my view, the School of Hard Knocks has taught me how to hold my own with the bureaucracy, as well as the academics that seem to occupy these positions. Question 11, given the divergent views of the community and the challenges of developing an inclusive and sustainable governance model, there may be times when the representatives will differ in their views of the way forward. I would not expect my view to not be aired, just as I would not stifle the view of other members. As I mentioned earlier, it will require compromise by all parties to achieve the best outcome for us. in question 12, I made the point often that the world belongs to those who turn up. If you don't vote, you don't count. So please remind your friends, your neighbours and your family and work colleagues that you must enrol to vote in this election, as it is a separate role for this election only, and the most important one. So thank you for attending and listening to me, and I must apologise in advance. I have another engagement, so I may have to leave slightly early. But thank you for listening.